What's going on, everyone? Yesterday, Leo was asking me about sciatica. Sciatica. Um, and interestingly, a bunch of the things that I had already recommended to him still hold true, but I did a little bit more digging and found a few more ideas that you can implement into your regimen to get rid of that pain. So this is for him and obviously for everybody else. I'm going to try to dig right through this. And interesting enough, this, the sciatica or the nerve runs pretty much the same path as the Psoas, the Psoas, Psoas, which is interesting, something I was explaining to him that years ago when I played a lot of sports, I had a knot in one of those muscles, and somebody had done some deep tissue work and removed the knot. And I think that like I think maybe some people do have maybe there's it might be the psoas and not the nerve itself. I mean, you could mistake the two because they're running the same path and they're doing basically the same work. And interestingly, when we get into using a guasha tool, um, which is a very simple tool. Let me see if I got mine sitting right here. What did I do with it? It's right over here. You don't even need to buy one. You could use the back of you could use a ball jar lid or whatever. It's gonna have the same purpose. And what's happening in the body is the skin, over years of using different substances and putting things in the body and not cleansing it properly with waters, and you can get gooey and sticky and things get stuck together. I mean, look at a baby, how free flowing it is. It has to do with because its skin is not attached to its, like your muscles will get gooey and start to get locked into place and get stuck to the tendons, and the muscle will get stuck to, your skin. And so all of these things will get stuck together. And what this will do by using it properly, if you just look up guasha, and also cupping works as well. Cupping or guasha is going to help to remove um, the stickiness. It's going to basically pull the blood apart, pull the glue that's holding things together, so that things can slide and move on their own. And so a lot of times what will happen is you won't be able to move, not because maybe not because the muscle isn't elastic enough, but because the muscle is actually attached to the tendon, or the skin is attached to um, the next layer, right? So this is one big thing that's going to help guasha. And there are a few points in acupuncture and acupressure even, and there's a couple tools you can get that are really cheap. You can get yourself some acupuncture. Um, Basically, it's like acupuncture tape. They're tiny little pieces of tape that have tiny little needles on it. And you can't get. Yeah, I don't think you can really. You'd have. It's hard to get acupuncture needles. I mean, you can find them, but you're better off just getting those because you can stick them right on there. And you go through and find out a few points, and there are a few major points. One is the gallbladder 20, which is basically right outside of that hip where that little divot is, that indentation is on the side of your butt and where your hip is. Right in there, there's a gallbladder point. And now you can just use a guasha tool. You can use your thumb, and you can use those needles that are stuck to the tape. Those work very well. Or you can just go get yourself some acupuncture, which, depending on where you are and how good the person is, and it might cost you a few bucks. But that's always a good route. Turmeric and things that are going to reduce inflammation, not just turmeric, but turmeric, for you to get the benefit out of the curcumin in it. You need to have it attached to a fat, basically. So you'd have some oil or butter or something that's fattiest, so it can capture the molecule of the curcumin and bring it through your system, because if not, it's going to get burnt. Basically your digestive system will burn it out and you won't get the benefits of it. So it's very fat soluble. So turmeric to reduce inflammation. Go get some massage work done, deep tissue. It's a weird spot. It's underneath so you need to have somebody know what they're really doing, because you need to be able to get underneath the stomach musculature and get to the psoas, and you might find relief from that, because when I had mine worked on, there was a knot that this girl got out, and I went from really not being able to walk very well, to like the next day I could go play basketball and run around like an idiot. So that might be a lot of problems for people. Again, Guasha tool is very important. Turmeric and any other inflammation, anything that will help with inflammation. Obviously, increase the water intake, all of that. It's always a good idea. And for everybody else, I mean, Leo already knows, but for anybody else that comes and sees this, I mean, obviously urine's going to do wonders. Distilled waters will, a great idea to increase that. Another thing that you can look into is this little bonus. Oil bastis. Oil enemas. And you can actually put turmeric in the oil. And so the turmeric that you're going to heat up slightly in some oil to get it nice to about body temperature, and do an oil basti in the evening before you go to bed, and see what happens. You might wake up and your whole body needed all of that, and you won't even expel any. So it depends on how much oil your body really needs. It's kind of like doing yourself an oil change, like a car, And there's a couple other points that are very important for sciatica, and one is, I could give you the points. One is I believe it's the urinary bladder tract number 17, which is right behind. You could actually just reach it. It's like right there underneath the shoulder blades. It's that really, a lot of people get a sore spot underneath that shoulder blade right there, and that's actually related to your bladder, and the bladder is connected to the sciatica pain. So that's another one. And then there's a spot like about 4 knuckles up from the base of your spine. Go up about that far, and then 3 knuckles over to either side. And there's a spot there. And those 2 spots, you can either put those acupuncture tape things on there. I forget exactly what they're called. They shouldn't be too hard to find on Amazon, and they're pretty cheap, like $6-7. And so you can either do cupping, you can do guasha, you can do needles. All of them are going to be doing a very similar service to you, which is cleaning up those pathways. And this especially will help to release all of your different layers of body that shouldn't be stuck together, that are. Some of them, and one more bonus thing here. Kelly Starrett, he has these things called voodoo bands, and they're doing the same thing this is, but much quicker. You're basically wrapping up the muscle and the skin, and you're giving yourself like almost like it's not an Indian burn, but you're pulling your skin away, and it'll feel very funky the first couple times you do it, but the relief you'll get immediately after taking it off. Like I can barely touch the ground right now, and if I go through my body and do this, I'll be able to probably put my hands on the floor. Like it's that much relief from the stickiness that goes on in the body. And obviously, when you're doing these things, after you do them, increase the water, because now you want to clean out all of that, whatever element, whatever is holding your body together like that. What else? What else did I have up here? Sciatica, guasha tools, turmeric. Anything else? What else do I have on the title? Who's in here? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up? You're recovering from a staph infection and not having access to a shower. From not having access to a shower. Stomach 36 and 4 gates for sciatica. Yeah. Okay. I think most people, as much as the acupuncture. See, so let me jump in here with this. The acupuncture, I think, is something a little farther down the line when it's something more like when it's that severe that you're having problems with that, I think you got to go with the brute force method most of the time, especially considering modern diet of people. I think for some people, you can get away with doing the let's dial in the needles and things. And don't get me wrong, because I've had some really amazing acupuncturists that I think it's more of I think it's not as useful for people that don't clean their diet up. You know what I mean? Because you could fix it right away, and then all of a sudden people are still doing the same shit, and it's, the acupuncture ain't gonna last that long. Where I say, if you do the brute force method, let's just dig the shit out. Let's get the cups on there. Let's get the Guasha tool working, and on getting the voodoo bands on, and that's a major win for people. And you'll also see, the visualization of seeing a little bit of a bruise. And it's not a deep tissue bruise, it's a superficial bruise. But seeing that, you're gonna notice. You know what I mean? Seeing is, for a lot of people, very important. Seeing what's going on, and the immediacy of the relief. So yeah, those are some ideas right there. And the word I was looking for before was fascia. So you have your fascia is what is the layer between your skin and your musculature, and that a lot of times is the major culprit for holding your body in a very disposition, in a very bad position, because that gets all the gunk and the goo that holds your body in a very bad posture. But just by loosening that up, I mean, within a couple days of doing Guasha tool and getting these things loosened up, I can change the way my entire posture is. So yeah, get on this stuff. This is one of the easiest things to do, and the cups are really cheap too. You can get some cups on Amazon for, I think, $20, $25, and those will go a long way for sure, for sure. And those will actually work on deeper tissue shit, like things that are going on deeper in your system. So I like cups for, between this and cups, I mean, you can really fix up a body really quickly, as long as you maintain increasing the amount of water you're getting, or else you're gonna be doing yourself a disservice, and just moving that gunky nasty blood around your body. And as well, I should just here as a little bit of a disclaimer for using that kind of, if you're very out of shape, and your liver and your kidneys aren't working, that's not going to be a great idea to be doing cupping work. You want to have your kidneys pretty decently clean, because now you got to process that blood. Guasha is not going to be too bad if you have a bad liver or kidneys, especially the kidneys. But if you were to do a bunch of cupping, and your kidneys were already, tore up, you're going to be having to process more garbage through your system. So you'd want to find specifically the kidney points for acupressure, acupuncture, and for cupping, because there are a couple specific kidney points that will help clean out the kidneys first before you go out and do your whole back or your whole system. So yeah, whoever else is in here, any questions, or whatever else? I don't remember what I put the title in. I totally forgot what it was. I hope I covered all of it. I'm pretty sure it was Guasha, turmeric, sciatica. Did I cover them all? I'm pretty sure. And if not, I will get back into another one of these. But hopefully, this, for everybody in the future, you find some relief from sciatica, and think, and really again realize that it might actually not be the nerve itself, but it might be the nerve attached to something, or it might be the actual psoas, or some other, you know, you might be holding tension in a different place. There's always these interesting things where you can get a pain somewhere, but it's because you have a misconnection somewhere else, or something it's holding on in a different part of you. You can have a knot somewhere and it hurts somewhere else. These things happen too. It's like trigger point therapy. I'll do a whole thing on trigger point therapy as well, because that's very important stuff. But I don't think that's as important here. I think going brute force and just digging in there and figuring out if it's the psoas, or if you can reduce inflammation with some turmeric, is a good idea. So I think I've repeated myself enough on those points, and we'll see who else is in here. Travis and Dimension. The staph infection, the best way to get rid of any kind of infection is probiotics. Many probiotics, because the infection is a bunch of basically garbage trying to eat away at your system, right? So you want pro-life, not antibiotics. They will give you antibiotics, which will kill that for sure, but it's also going to kill good things. So if you do take the antibiotics, if you already went through that process of taking antibiotics, then you're going to build yourself up by taking a lot of probiotics, maybe even doing a probiotic enema, taking yogurt or any number of bacterias, quality good bacteria for the body, and putting them in there. So who else is in here? I'll continue this on if anybody has any questions on this or anything else, because I got a few minutes to spare here. But I guess this will pretty much be the end of it here for the ideas on Sciatica and Psoas. Let's see who else is in here. Anybody's got questions? No one's in here? Is everybody just listening in the background? Is that what's going on? You thought I was gonna be talking about some goofy shit today? Maybe later. But it is football day, so I'm gonna try something new this year. I haven't really watched sports. Yeah, kombucha is gonna be good, man. You just it's always when you have some sort of infection, it's always a battle between things, right? There's some sort of battle going on in your system. The red blood cells, the white blood cells, and all of this, and the bacteria and the good ones and the bad ones. And there's two ways of fighting it, and one is to starve it completely, which is do a fast, or to combat it. If you do a fast, it will take longer, but it will be less of a toll on your system because they'll just die off as they do. But if you put in battle mode and you start putting in a bunch of probiotics to fight off a staph infection, then the residual is going to be your body's got to process all of the death, right? That is, it's basically karmic. It's like if you can eat all the animal you want, you can eat all the food you want. I ain't even saying animal, and any food really even is karma to a degree. You can eat anything you want, but you have to process it. It's the processing station. So the more battle you put on in your body, the more you have to process that shit. Yeah, kombucha is nice. Kombucha gives me the runs real quick, man. Especially whenever if I feel a little sickness coming on, kombucha will knock that shit right out of you. What's up, Branches? Mr. Benson. Oh, so as I was saying, as if football season's coming around here, I think this year I will participate. I haven't really watched football in years. Like I'll go now and then. I used to love football. I used to play. Used to be big into it. And then I became jaded. Once you realize like all the sports are pretty much scripted and you kind of get jaded on it. But now I'm kind of back. I'm like I don't really care. Everything's scripted everywhere anyways. So whether it's scripted or not, I'll enjoy watching the game. Instead of you just watch it differently. You can kind of start to prophetize. Prophesize off of what's the next play and why's the next play. I ain't gonna go as far as all these cats be doing online where they're like decoding everything through gematria, which is lovely and great, and a lot of them are really really good at it. But yeah, Saint season, huh? Joe, how often? Transit time is most important. The quicker you can get things out of your body, if your body is in good condition and you're digesting things, when you eat, you should be eliminating that pretty soon thereafter. You know what I mean? It depends on what you've eaten, the density of the meal, how many proteins, carbs, starches, etc., etc. It's just going to take longer to break things down. So, you should be, for every meal you eat, you should be taking a shit. It's just about that simple. And some people don't take shit for days. Some people, it might take a day, which is like for me, no, I digest things very quickly. So every meal should result in, and if you're in, Once you, but see, once you've already, if you've gone through a cleanse, right, and you've done a couple enemas and you've eaten some fiber and you feel like your entire colon is clean, then you can figure it out. You know what I mean? Then your first meal, you go, okay, how long is this first meal taking to get through me? And you could be more scientific in trying to figure out, okay, how long does it take for me to digest this? And remember, after you do an enema, do a bunch of enemas, and you're doing fiber cleanses to get more probiotics back in your system, probiotics in the mouth and up the butt, because you want to put the system that's going to be breaking apart the food back into your intestines and back, you know, from the top down or from the down up. So that would be how to figure it out for yourself. But depending on how many times you eat a day. For me, I prefer to eat once a day at the end of the day. But then again, you might see me eat 5 times in a day. You know what I mean? That's my habits. That's what I do. It's not even a habit. It's just like, depending on the day, depending on the week, depending on who I'm hanging out with, what's going on. You know, it might be a day of eating and feasting, and it might be, I'm good until sundown. So that's for you to decide. I don't know what your life looks like and what your scheduling looks like, but you should be shitting for every time you eat, and it probably should be about 4 hours, give or take, depending on what you're consuming. Oh, chaga teas, man. Yeah, chaga is an interesting tea. The king of the mushrooms, huh? I got some chaga in there. I might even take some in a little while. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll make some chaga tea. You know what? I'll put some water on it for that right now. Chaga has melanin in it. Isn't this right? Does anybody know about this? Chaga has melanin in it. And if anybody's familiar with how expensive melanin is on the market, it's more expensive than gold because it's basically a superpower. That's why chaga is very expensive. I mean, chaga is also very expensive because how you hunt it. And for anybody that's interested, here's some other cool things you can get. Oh man, I had this most delicious ramen yesterday. Let's see what I got in my closet. Boom, here you go. Yeah, sassafras. This is very good. It's the stuff they used to make root beer with. And my chaga chunks. So make some chaga and sassafras. This should be cool. They're both roots, so they take a little longer or hotter water. And you can extract them through, I believe chaga is alcohol soluble as well. See, some sort of mushrooms are not good in certain temperatures, and some require different types of methods to extract the alkaloids and whatnot out of them. I prefer, you know, the best way really to do it is warm water extractions, about like 100 and so degrees, because you're going to keep most of the alkaloids. Some things you're not going to extract. It's not going to be able to extract. A lot of really tough barks and roots, you're not going to be able to extract all of the things you want out of it. So hot water extraction is the way to go. So for these, hot water extraction or alcohol extraction is the way to go. Let me see. Oh, look at. And fun times. Anybody know about this? AeroPress. It's really for making coffee, but I think it'll work well for this here. Quite really, you should put this on the stove and you should simmer it. I'm gonna use this more than once, so I don't really care about having an absurd amount of extraction. Like, I'll more than, you know, because you can take chocolate chunks and do it more than once anyway. So Usually you simmer it for like 15 minutes to get the most out of it. But I'm going to do it more than once, so I'm going to put it in here for like 10 minutes. And then we'll have a delicious tea with some honey. Oh, and another good extraction method is wine, a white wine. You don't want red wine because there's already shit in it, right? So nice white wine, you can extract a lot of delicate herbs. So for instance, lotus stamen. If you get white wine, you can extract the medicine out of lotus stamens, which it's really nice. It's also a good smokable herb, but the extraction, you're going to get a much better feeling off of wine extraction from this. Okay, cool. Chaga. What's up, Eli? You fasting today? You feel the effects from chaga? Yeah. Your piss does have melanin, yeah. Well, melanin and melatonin, they're very. I've spoken about their similarities. Now, I've never looked up the. I've never looked up the chart of what they look like. You know, the shape of them. But I'm sure they're probably pretty similar. But obviously, etymologically, they're very similar, and what they're dealing with, because they're both dealing with black, or dark, or night, or evening. So there's a lot going on there. What do I suggest for fiber? Well, it depends on what your purpose is, but you got your insoluble and soluble fibers. Oops, hold on. That happened a lot quicker than I was. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Okay. You got two kinds of fibers. You got soluble and insoluble. And you know what I'm going to put in here too? Because it is because it's good for just about everything, is cinnamon. Cinnamon bark. Hold on a second. Cinnamon bark. Cinnamon root. Cinnamon root? No, cinnamon bark. I don't have any bark here, so let me see. Allspice works good too. Ooh. There we go. Because cinnamon has just a nice heating element to it as well. Heating quality. Probably just make some root beer, actually. Okay, where we at? So fiber, what would I suggest? I mean, you've got your soluble, your insoluble. One is going to be not pulling anything in and just kind of cleaning out what's already in there. And the soluble fiber is going to be sucking things up. So you got psyllium. Psyllium is the best, as far as I've been, as far as I found. Psyllium is the best for insoluble and sucking things up out of your system. And then anything else, you know, oatmeal is a good fiber. Anything really. Any fiber, anything that seems fibrous, eat that shit. It doesn't have to be, you know, people go on a cleanse and like, oh, I've got to eat this gooey, sloppy mixture. Like, no, you can make it taste good, you know, like cinnamon and bananas and walnuts in an oatmeal with a little bit of psyllium. Yeah, it's gonna taste awesome. And you put a little maple syrup in there. It's awesome, and it has all the effects of cleansing. What's up, Lucianne? Yeah, Dimension Extensions. Dark brewed coffee with cinnamon. That's gonna be really good for killing worms and shit. Yeah. Sorry for the camera here. Let's see. the... There it is. Oh. Oh. Okay. Who else in here? Any questions? The dark brew coffee. Yeah, dark brew is better than light brew for the sheer fact of all the chemicals, depending, and especially if you're getting, you got to get organic. If you're not getting organic, you got too many chemicals in it to begin with. And then light brew coffee has way too much caffeine, man. Way too much caffeine. This is why you want to do the upgrade to dark roast coffee is doing espresso, because there's way less caffeine and you're extracting more of the quality elements out of it. There's this dude named let me see what his name is. Hold on. Oh, Paul Chek. How did I fucking forget his name? Paul Chek. Paul Chek. He does a video on espresso, and it's like 2-part video, and why espresso is so good and the benefits to it. And I highly suggest that, and why espresso is better than coffee. Do a little cleanup here for a second, y'all. What kind of mess did I make last night? What have I done here? Okay. I might as well get this all set up here. Soy sauce. Ultrasonic. What about anti-nutrients in nuts and rice? I don't know anything about anti-nutrients. I've never heard of that. Although I suppose anything that has the capacity to charcoal, I would suppose anything fibrous is anti-nutrient, huh? Meaning it would extract nutrition out of the system. So you shouldn't really eat fiber if you're gonna add anything nutritionally sound to the body, right? So fiber would be an anti-nutrient, and I don't know anything about nuts or rice being anti-nutrients, and that's I'll dig into it. But as far as nuts, I mean, are we talking about pasteurized nuts? Are we talking about raw nuts? Are we talking about nut milk? What are we talking about? Dark chocolate coffee beans is a great snack and very healthy for sure. Eli, you drink coffee with white girls? Oh, me too, man. You gotta put the sugar and the milk in there. Yeah, psyllium is excellent fiber. Here, let me. Let's see. Raw macadamia nuts are the best with chocolate on them. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me do a little bit of cleaning as you guys come up with any questions or comments that you want. And if somebody could let me know about these anti-nutrients that I heard about just a second ago here. Anybody know anything about that? See, I gotta do a little bit of sugar in this. I don't know what I did with the honey. So do a little sugar. And see, the reason to use milk or butter or ghee or oil, especially in look at Indian cooking. They use turmeric in everything, but they also use yogurt and oils and things. It's so that they can get the so they can get the compounds into their system that they need. There's a lot of cultures that use they're oil-rich cultures, and they're using an oil to get certain elements into the body properly. Couple more minutes of brew here. Brew hot's on. Guess I'm gonna even use a little bit of milk in this, or heavy cream, because I want to. That's why. Yeah, I guess anti anything. Well, since if you look at it the right way, nutrition means light. So whatever's holding light, whatever's not holding light, or whatever gets rid of light. So yeah, processed foods would be that, I'm sure. Just Arizona, the ringing in your ears. I can't answer that. Not because I can't answer it, but because there's so many variables and possibilities of why you have ringing in your ears. Some of it could be healthy. Some of it could be, you could be hearing your organs. Some of it could actually be like physiologically something disharmonizing in your system. Another, it could be literally you're hearing the sound of your system. So that's hard to say, man, or woman, whatever you are. Just Arizona. If I were you, I would do a cleanse and see what that does. It might heighten it. It might get rid of it too. It depends on why it's happening, and I don't know why. For you, I don't know why. It depends on what kind of when do you hear it all the time? Do you hear it just at night? Do you hear it when you're silent? Do you hear it? You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways. You might be hearing something outside of yourself, and you might be hearing something inside of yourself. You might be vibrating to a 5G network. Oh no, the evils of the 5G. It could be a number of things. So that's a really hard question to answer. And thighs and things. I'm guessing you're saying things, Eli. Phytic acid and histamine and stuff. Are you saying in coffee? Or you just I didn't Eli, I wasn't catching what you were saying there. Local cafe uses healthy meals, but the oil oil is a tough one, man, because a lot of oils that you're getting aren't exactly what they say they are. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this. It came out a few years ago, actually quite a number of years ago. It was like an expose on that somebody did on all of the olive oil and how the olive oil isn't actually extra virgin olive oil. So, yeah, when you get into it, laissez or whatever, buyer beware kind of shit, like that kind of idea where like if you don't know the source, you don't know what you're getting really. It's tough. Because people be bullshitting, but yeah, sometimes oil is not gonna be. You can get garbage oil. You can get garbage of anything. So it's I don't really know. I don't know really what to say about that. Eat shit without oil. Put your own oil in your body. Let me get this tea going here. Well, ain't that smell good? Yeah, a lot of times people ask me about things, and it's hard. It's sometimes it's hard to answer people properly because I don't. If I don't know your diet, if I don't know who your deity is, if I don't know what you've been eating, I don't know what you do on a daily basis. I don't know who you know, what you kind of even kind of what television you're watching. If I don't know this kind of shit, it's hard to give answers to certain things. A lot of people are like they think there's just one specific, answer to how to fix something. Well, I mean, I know the answer to that. Fucking fast. Go do a fast on urine and distilled water. Go do that, and stop watching TV. And then we can fix some things. But most people aren't gonna be able to do that, so it's hard to answer specific questions of like, hey, can you help me with this? Like, yeah, I kind of could, but it might not work if you're also doing all this other shit, which sometimes people do. And then I'm like, well, that didn't work. And then I'm like, well, why didn't it work? Well, then you come to find out, like, oh, so you mean you didn't actually listen to what I said? You didn't do what I said. So that's where like sometimes I'm like, I kind of don't answer questions for people because like I'm not gonna be held responsible for you thinking you did half of what I said. I've had lots of people. Well, most people get benefit from what I say because they know what the fuck I'm talking about. But some people they think they can do half of what the fuck I say. You can't do half of what I say and expect to get the results I'm talking about. It's silly. But whatever. I think I'm probably just venting a little bit because I tried to see a movie a second time. I tried to go see that Tom Cruise joint, the Mission Impossible. Do people still talk in theaters? You know this? Does anybody know this? Motherfuckers still out here talking during movies. Like on their phone, talking as if they're just at their house. People still do this. Do you guys experience this? I don't know. Fucking some trashy ass, ignorant ass ghetto shit to do, yo. I don't get it. I guess I grew up with too much respect for the movies and other people watching them. What about the skins of fruit and vegetables? I assume if you can bite into it, you should. You know what I mean? And what I've heard as well is the nutrition, the top layer has the most nutrition in it because nutrition means color or light. That light that is actually the vibrational frequency is holding the most information. Now, as far as the top layer goes, like you can look at that two ways. You should peel it off because all of the toxin in this day and age that's on shit, yeah, you should probably remove it. Because inside of the fruit, what's been found is inside of the fruit, none of the GMO, none of the bullshit none of the toxin gets in there because it's pushing it out and it goes onto the skin. So peel the skin off. I think that's probably the most, where we are now with most of the food that people are getting, take the skin off, I would assume. But if you're in decent health, I don't think it's going to cause you a problem. You're supposed to be able to just grab the fruit and eat it, you know what I mean? So if you go to the farm, and it's a nice farm, and you know it's not been sprayed, yeah, eat of the fruit, you know? So, other than that, like, trace mineral overdose, what's up? I don't think you can, I don't know, what do you mean by trace minerals? Now we're getting into, you can't overdose on vegetables or fruits. You can't overdose on fruits, let's put it that way. You can overdose on salt. So when people say trace minerals, most of the time what they're saying is inorganic salts. Because they go, well, no, the sea salt and Himalaya salt has all the salt you need in it. Like, no, that's inorganic and it's not supposed to be in the human body. So, of course, you can overdose on it because it's a fucking poisonous drug. So, yeah, that way you can overdose. Any dose is an overdose. Put it that way. How's that? Just Arizona, you're a woman. Okay. Oh, that's bitter. I probably should have made the tea a little less. less strong. We'll see what happens. Could add a little more sugar, I guess. They'll kind of cut some of the bitter out of there. Decent though. That's much more medicinal than I was preparing for. Mary Jane Harbor. You see twinkle music and flutes in your ear. Yeah, those are fun ones. Well, you're not who wait, who asked me about that with the ring in the ears? Oh, just Arizona. Yeah. Okay, just Arizona asked me. Yeah. Dimension extensions, 2 avocados a day. Yeah, there's a lot of nutrition in avocados. I mean, think about it. Avocado is in 100% proportion, 100% direct proportion to the woman's reproductive cycle. It takes 9 months to grow. It's good for the uterus. It's got a seed in the middle. The oils are very good for birthing a baby. It has all of the food signatures of an impregnated woman. So there's obviously a lot of energy in there, and all the fats are going to be very good for the body, keeping the body lubricated. All the oils. So 2 avocados. Avocados are super awesome food. Raspberry leaf tea. I like raspberry leaf for smokable blends. I've never had any raspberry leaf tea. Mercury and tuna. Is that like Mercury in retrograde or what? Anywho, 7. I don't know if you could overdose on She Legit, but I know I've done a too big of a portion of She Legit, and I was like off the wall. I don't know. I've never considered it. Ask one of the people that sell it, yo. There's a lot of people that be selling pretty high quality She Legit, and I'm still like in the middle on because I don't have 100% knowledge on the shit. Meaning, is it really the what I'm getting from them? Is it actually organic, bioavailable, et cetera, or is it just because you don't know who you're getting it from? That's the only question. Because what it actually is supposed to be bioavailable, organic, the what's come off of organic systems. So it's a living. It's actually it's kind of like honey. I've considered it like honey, where it's living but it's not dying. Like you can't kill honey. It's but it's full of nutrition and all of this life force. So I akin it that way. So I don't think you can overdose on it, but I wouldn't take too much. I mean, it seems like a fucking. I was running up walls literally. I went climbing. I went to a rock climbing facility, and I was climbing walls, and I was like, this shit is. I never done it before, but everything was just like very. I was much stronger. So yeah, I could see how that it has a cocaine or cocoa-esque quality to it. What's up, Brill Lightyear? What's going on? Yeah, avocado is heavy duty stuff. Yeah, yeah, Eli Jen, you've done too much Eli Jen. I would guess so. I mean, how much did you do? I mean, like I did like a pea, maybe bigger than a pea, which for me is a lot because I don't deal with uppers at all. I don't like uppers because my brain is already too fucking perfected. I'm already too wild. I'm already too wiry. I'm already too fucking. So for me, I like depressants and things that ground me. I like to have my shoes off. I like to, do things that are very grounding to my spirit because I'm an air sign to begin with. Plus, I'm very heady in things. So whenever I've done so uppers I don't like. They're not for me. And so when I did a lot of that, I was just like, whoa. No. Brill Lightyear. What about Agnahotra ash? I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. Is it from a tree bark or something? Who else is in here? What's going on, all of you 27 folk? 28 of y'all. And you know, while I don't really care if you thumbs up or thumbs down this shit, if you do thumbs it up, it does help this information get spread to people that need it, people that have sciatica and different health issues, so they can find this kind of information. So feel free. It's very simple to do. You just go over there and you push the thumbs up button. That's very helpful. So I gotta remind you people, god damn it. So I should probably go look up Agna Ash. Agna Hotra. Hotra. What hmm. Seems I'm trying to I'm just the way I play with words, I'm trying to decipher where that's from. Where did it come from? Asian maybe? You're gonna make me get out of the computer and look this up, aren't you? So, Daniel Benson, you were asking me, were you asking me about mercury in tuna? Um, I don't know. It's very interesting. I've said this before, and this is, oh, you want me to look it up? Okay, I'll go look it up. And my computer's charging right now, so I can't do it right now. I can do it in a minute though. Um, why you say LOL afterwards? So the mercury in tuna, mercury in anything is interesting to me because I'm Mercurian, you know, Geministic and all of this. And I think that there's been a lot of misunderstanding of what mercury is, you know. So I do have my reservations about how bad mercury is for the system. I know there's lots of studies about like mercury in you know the when you're getting your the needle stuck in your baby as a child, and I get all of that, but I don't know if I wonder if that's not even the poison. I wonder if the poison is actually just all the other garbage. But then they'd go, look, it's the mercury. Look, it's the mercury. I don't know. I say that from a much larger perspective, not from is mercury poisonous. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying from the level of, you know, overview of the whole planet, overview of the whole system, language, et cetera, et cetera. All this shit that we've been bullshit. You know, you're bullshit on a lot of things. So like they tell you tobacco's bad, right? Tobacco ain't killing nobody. Tobacco is a sacred plant, right? It's all of the chemicals they're putting in it, right? But then we go, oh, there's 20,000 deaths a year from tobacco. Tobacco's evil. Well, fuck you. Tobacco's not evil. Tobacco is a sacred fatherly plant. Shut the fuck up. You know, and then oh, now you're gonna have people having problems because of marijuana, but it's not the marijuana. It's all the other shit they're fucking with it because they're genetically modifying it, they're chopping it up, doing all this other bullshit to it. And see, you're gonna have a problem with that then because now you got marijuana, which is the feminine, the motherly figure. So this is it's just it's always the okey doke and the misdirection of saying, oh well, that's the problem. They try to tell people vegetables were causing salmonella. Vegetables can't have salmonella. They don't have a digestive system. It was actually all of the dead, rotting carcasses getting the beefy juice, bloody shit all over the vegetation that was causing, you know, this is years ago, spinach and tomatoes and something else. They always try to blame something that ain't the fucking problem. And again, they and, you know, this, I'm really playing that game, but you know what I'm saying. So there's always some sort of okie dokie, look over here, and here's the fucking real problem. And I wonder that about mercury too. I do wonder about that. Because if it's so poisonous, why would they went the route and put it inside of inside of a thermometer that they jam up somebody's asshole. Hey, let's put some poisonous thing in this glass thing and jam it in a baby's butt. Snap it. Oops. Oh, we got shards of glass and mercury in a baby's asshole. I mean, that's had to happen, right? Or here, put this mercury in your mouth inside of a glass tube. Oh, like what? Maybe it's not as poisonous as we're told. Maybe I eat mercury every day. Maybe that's why, maybe that's what your boy Hugh Jackman was eating when he became Wolverine, right? Remember they made his bones out of what, titanium or whatever. Maybe there was mercury in there too. I don't know. Mercury seems pretty cool shit. Maybe I eat spoonfuls of mercury for breakfast. Joe, do I play any musical instruments? I play with an analog synthesizer. I make beats and things. As far as instruments, I've messed around in a keyboard. I've messed around with things, but I'm not, my talent was never for guitar or anything. I could probably play. I could if I picked it up. I mean, I can type fast. So, and the transition to musically inclined to type or to play a piano, I could probably pick it up pretty quickly. But it just, I enjoy speaking and I've always enjoyed, I grew up playing sports. I never grew up with the arts and I never grew up with music. But then one day when I sat down and decided to try to draw, I could draw pretty quickly. And then, and music, it affects me very greatly. So there's probably a reason that I don't play instruments because I probably couldn't. I'd probably tear myself apart because like even listening to music, it overwhelms my soul. So I don't know. Maybe I, I I can't. I could try to sing. Maybe I should go take some vocal lessons. I don't know. But no, I mean other than my voice and myself, no, I don't play any instruments really. Not like that. I can. I had a djembe, and I gave it to a friend of mine. The day that I bought a djembe, 2 days later, a friend of mine comes over my house. And he's like, "Yo, somebody just stole my djembe from the quarter." I was like, "Fucking hilarious! I just bought one." There's like no way he'd have known. It's like, oh, well, fucking magic. And this is like a friend of mine who's very, very native, and so I gave him my djembe. But I could play. I think I could probably figure out the drums pretty quickly. I can kind of bang out in drums a little bit. Mary Jane, I like how you call them sadomasochists. Yeah, nice way to say hello to all the babies. Yeah, let's jam something in the butthole, right? Fucking weird shit, yo. Let's cut up the penis, jam some mercury up a butthole. Like that's some fucked up shit right there. You're doing weekend 3 days still water fasting, trying to get to 10 days. Sugar addiction. Greater Alexander, the best way to get rid of the parasites, if you just want it, you're gonna have to just dive through it and get rid of it, which is do yourself what I would do if it were me. I'm not saying you should do it because I don't know what other diet you have. The best way to get rid of parasites is you want to get a wormwood tincture. You get yourself some wormwood and make yourself a tincture. I wouldn't get the stuff from the store because it's not going to be strong enough. Make your own wormwood tincture. Get yourself black walnut husk. Make a tincture out of that. Get yourself some turpentine. The food grade, not the stuff that you're cleaning paintbrushes with. I mean, you could obviously use that to clean paintbrushes, but and then get yourself some oregano oil. Go ahead and put that in with some tequila. Do a shot of that shit. Do a few shots of that. You're gonna really be doing a lot of destroying of the worms. Like that, you could. That's one way to get rid of them. Other way is just to fast them, but then you're gonna have to deal with the cravings and the addiction and the neurological. But if you just want to just like get them out of your system, it'll be a little bit of a like you'll be shitting your brains out, and it's not gonna feel good, but you'll get it out of you. That plus coffee enemas. Coffee enemas are gonna because a lot of people have worms that are like really up in their gallbladder, their liver. That's a big source of worms, right? So I would do that. I would go. I mean, that's the way I am. Because whenever I do something, I'm just looking let balls to the wall. Let's do it. So like I did 20 back to back, five enemas a day for 4 days. I think something like that. 5 coffee enemas a day, and what was coming out of me was absolutely horrific. And this is years and years ago. The smell and what was coming out was just like black tar from youth. So that plus all of the worms and parasites and weird shit that was coming out afterwards, I felt like a fucking $1,000,000. So that's what I would do. And the sugar addiction, if you don't want to go the hardcore route, then go watch Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator. Watch his stuff from about a year ago, 2 years ago, where he was talking about you can get rid of parasites with fruit juice. Everybody's like, no, there's sugar in there. Well, not sugar is different. Sugar is different than glucose is different than fructose is different. You're talking about molecular size. You're talking about a lot of different things. So there's a lot of ways to get rid of parasites. You can take pineapples. You can make yourself a pineapple drink that is like the skins and rinds of a pineapple, and you can make yourself a basically like a kombucha out of it. Kombucha is a good idea. You can go that route. Adding probiotics. I mean, it depends on how long of a battle you want with the things, and if you're willing to if you got time off. That's what I would do. What's up, Steven? Why do we get disgusted? It's a strange feeling. I don't know. I mean, I'm disgusted. Like, disgust me, like people that pick up dog poop. That's disgusting to me. It seems so unreasonable. I don't know. Yeah, kefir. Yeah, any kind of probiotics are going to help with that, because the probiotics are going to help break down the sugars to get out of your body. And most people don't have a sugar addiction. Let's go back to this. Go to my other video on glucose and diabetes. Like, your body is running on sugar and alcohol, basically. It breaks down the sugar, and you're using alcohol, and you're using sugar in your system to drive your body. That and air. This respiration, perspiration, respiration, spiration, spire, inspire, expire, spirituality, the spirit, the breath, all of this working together to create what is energy. And the sugar is a part of that. So it's not really addiction to sugar. It's what are you feeding, and what kind of sugars. Like, if you're feeding those things, you're overrun with those things. So getting rid of those, that's why I would go the route that I said, and adding lots of probiotics. But as you're doing that, you're gonna want increase the water intake, because you're gonna have a lot of dead bodies and shit in your system that you need to get rid of. And obviously, urine is gonna help. Start drinking your urine. That's gonna help lots. Leo, what's going on, man? Leo, I made this video is for you, man. Go to the beginning of the video whenever you get a chance. The whole thing on sciatica and everything. I touched on some of the things I did yesterday, but then just kind of reaffirmed a couple of things. So yeah, this was for you, man. So go back to the beginning. You don't have to do it right now, but yeah, whiskey. You're getting a different spirit out of it, and tequila is an upper, and tequila has a lot of. I think tequila has a little more. I don't know, the character of tequila I enjoy much more. Whiskey to me is not my thing. Whiskey is like if you're gonna be out at a fire, just hanging out, doing some fishing, talking shit. Like, there's a certain place for it. I don't like it in the general population, really. Like, to be out myself doing it, I don't. Montezuma Aztec Gold. Yeah, I love myself some tequila, man. Oh, nice. Um, Greater Alexander, Dr. Cesar is one to say, don't kill the worms, because he likes snakes. He is a doctor. Let's just, I like him, and I like a lot of his teachings, but let's remember, he's a doctor, and he does, if you ever listen to him talk, he does have quite a bit of ego going. There's nothing wrong with the ego. I'm just saying, I'm suspect of when somebody has to throw that doctor in front of their thing, they're know-it-all. And it's coming from me, and I'm a fucking know-it-all. So don't take what I'm saying with, however you like. But I will say this much. Add to that, you're saying your enemas, you can actually do enemas with the black walnut and the wormwood. Take the walnut and take the wormwood and boil it down, and now use that along with your coffee enema, or just that on its own, and see what happens. That's going to be a lot of fun if you can hold those, because those are going to piss off all the little worms. If you can hold that in your system, you'll know exactly where you cramp up and how quickly you have to evacuate the system. So check doing the wormwood and black walnut hull tinctures. Add cinnamon to that as well. Cinnamon is another good addition to that. And make sure you get the good kind of cinnamon. There's two kinds. Look into the two kinds. It's a pretty quick internet search, that there's one way better than the other, because there's a bunch more chemicals in it and where it comes from. Virginia, I don't suggest you take any minerals. I suggest you get all of your nutrition from, first, the clean air, second, the sunlight, third, the fruits. You should be getting everything you need from fruits. There should be no supplements, means to supple mind, meant to supply the mind. You shouldn't be taking supplements from little pills. You can do additions, if you're taking breaking down plants and vegetation and putting them in tinctures and things. Yeah, go ahead and add those to your system, but I would not in any way suggest taking any specific supplements. It's the same way, the caloric intake is a joke, because calories don't mean shit. Imagine 10 people having a 2,000 calorie diet, and all of their diet, one person's 2,000 calorie diet was carrots, and one was oil, and one was beef, and one was charcoal. You can eat 2,000 calories worth of charcoal. Who's going to be healthiest? There's a very, very interesting. It's like somebody say, oh, you need more vitamin this, vitamin that. Like, nobody even, those are macro vitamins. And then you know how many micronutrients there are? There's tens of thousands of micronutrients that nobody even considers, because there's just too many things. It's so complex that don't worry about the complexities, don't worry about macronutrients. Just eat the food. The food's gonna have everything you need in it. I've checked out the ionic foot detox. I'm neither here nor there on it. I can't. I've seen enough discrediting of it that it's just kind of bullshit. But I also know that there's a lot of traditional Chinese medicine. Get my Mike Tyson on medicine that is very, very good. But an ionic, I don't know. I can't comment on that. And I don't have a take on radionics. I've heard of it. I've not studied it to any degree. Eli Jen, whiskey smells like an old man. I hear you. Like the other day, like I was talking about, I was at a bar, and I was at that kind of bar, and I had a shot of whiskey and a beer, shot of whiskey and a beer. That's that's an old man thing. Shot of whiskey and a beer. If you're in that place, if you're in Tennessee, go ahead and have your shot of whiskey and a beer and have that conversation and do that thing. But that ain't my lifestyle. I'll do it here and there, but no, it's not for me. I don't think it's for most people. And I hear you on the smell. It's like leathery cigarettes, like stale old man. It's whiskey is the smell of broken dreams and broken dreams and fucking. Oh man, the smell of a football. I could throw this fucking football over a mountain. I should have went to states. It's that kind of shit. That's what I smell in it too, for sure. and like fucking old gym shorts and shoes. Like it's like the smell of an old locker where you put all your dreams that just went there and died. You don't like any alcohol drinks. Which other drinks do you suggest to get out the parasites? I would use the same herbs, but use them in a decoction of water. Just boil them down. The alcohol just holds it in there, so it will last forever, right? That you could just put it on the shelf. If you put it in water, it's gonna go bad. So put it in the water. Just boil it down real nice, and get to that extraction right there. Virginia, and you can extract it also in a glycerin, not nitroglycerin. Um, what's it called? Glycerin? Hold on. Hold on. I can't believe I can't remember the name of this. There you go. Oh yeah. Any kind of glycerin. Here you go. Vegetable glycerin. Wow. Now I don't necessarily prefer doing it in glycerin because glycerin is already too thick. It's really great for the skin and for inside of your body, but as far as extracting, it's not going to do it as well. I don't see how it could. So I would do water. You might be able to extract it in water really thick and then add the glycerin to it. But I don't know. I've never done it. I've only used a glycerin extraction a couple times. Yeah, coffee enemas definitely get rid of parasites and will clean out a lot of the problems in your liver and gallbladder. And a lot of problems are held in your liver and gallbladder, especially when you get into the theories on what parts of your bodies are holding emotions. So your kidneys hold certain types of emotions, your liver holds certain types of emotions. Like you have grief, anger, fear. These are all held in different part of organs. And so when you release those and express them, it can be emotional for you. But if you're doing it very quickly in a cleansing way, like it's like a day of purging, and then you're good. Other times you could be you're emotional for like weeks at a time and wondering why you're emotional because it's just leaking shit out of your organs, of past experiences, traumas, emotions, and things like that. Hmm. Day old wine. It's got a little bit of that vinegar note. Hmm. This was fabulous wine last night, though. I had this Cabernet Sauvignon, and today it's really, oddly enough, it's very nice today too. Once you let it oxygenate and you turn it into vinegar, like that would make a really nice red wine vinegar. And even vinegar, I mean, getting into as I'm speaking about this, vinegar is another route, but I've never really played with vinegar too much, but I know that's another route you can get rid of things in the body with. Eli, you shit some, yeah, yeah, man. Coffee and turpentine, coffee, wormwood, turpentine, all of these things we've already explained. They're very powerful things. Yeah. Oh yeah, scraping the guasha is awesome, man. Yeah, Alexander, the guasha is a great tool, man. And if as I was speaking about earlier, I don't know if you were on here, but go ahead and get yourself some cups. Get yourself a cupping therapy kit. They're 25, $26 on Amazon. And that's gonna so what you're doing with this is you're getting really superficial top layer stuff. You're gonna get deeper layers of stuff. You're gonna get really deep into the muscles and deep into deeper issues in within muscles and tendons and shit. So I highly suggest that. Yeah, man. Of course, Leo. What's up, Matt Jones? What's up, Granny? Wormwood, you can, yeah, anything, basically anything that you're gonna put in your mouth, you can put up your ass. Put it that way. And so the difference you're getting is you're getting more of the actual element when you're putting it up your butt, because you don't have to digest it through your through your stomach acids. So yes, putting wormwood and all of this up your butt is a good idea. Do some enemas with it. It's very good to put in your system this way too. But you want to do it from both angles, because if you just do it in one direction, those little creatures will start going the other way. So if you just drink some, it's like if you do a coffee enema, people are like, oh, don't drink coffee, just do an enema. No, drink the coffee too. You want to go from both angles. So yeah. Jackson Hollets. What do I think about drinking absinthe? I think it's brilliant. I was just online trying to get myself some more wormwood to make my own, because you can't, in the States you can't get thujone in your absinthe, because that's the special parts of the absinthe, which comes from wormwood, which is why wormwood is very powerful, because it's getting into all of the extra shit that we get into, like how certain substances glow in the dark, how certain substances have lucid um, light bringing technologies to the inner system. There's certain elements. Think about gin and tonics. The tonic water is made with a special kind of bark that, when put under a black light, you can see it. It actually has it brings light, and so that's what's actually killing all the bacteria in the body. And so those kind of properties are in certain kind of elements. And in absinthe, that thujone, which is going to bring the green fairies, you can't get that in the American. Anything that's they're selling in stores, you can't get. You can get some from overseas and have it shipped here, but it's a whole process. So just get yourself the wormwood and make yourself some by extracting it in vodka, and that would be a way to do it. But I think it's awesome. And um, it's funny enough. Just the other day, I was like, I really wanted some absinthe, and there's a lot of absinthe bars in New Orleans, and it's a fun little thing to do. You put the sugar cube, and it's a fun little day about it. But you don't get the extra goodness of the thujone. Yeah, make it in a tonic, Granny. Any way you want it, any way you get it in the body. Lucianne, you said 4 tablespoons a day of what? I'm sorry, I don't remember which you were saying there. You said you've built up to 4 tablespoons a day of what? EDTA, I don't know what that is, Alexander. But as far as getting heavy metals out, the best way to do it is just green plant life, cilantro, things like this. That's going to be the easiest, best way that I know of. As well as obviously increasing increasing the distilled water in your body, more urine. Tinctures are only going to be able to be put in a jar if you're using alcohol or vegetable glycerin. Look it up on the Googles. It's very simple. You're if you don't want to use alcohol, it's basically putting the um, herb in a jar, putting the lid on tight of the vegetable glycerin, and the best way to do it is get yourself a coffee mug heater. One of those little, you plug it in the wall, and it keeps your coffee mug at a good 105 degrees. Well, that's a perfect temperature to help extract the elements out of the herbs. So you'd put the jar of vegetable glycerin on that, put the herbs in there, shake it up once in a while, leave it on there for a few days, and there you go. Apple cider vinegar, yeah. Apple cider vinegar, yeah. will come through, create a city on Earth. You know this. For a light year. Speaking of tinctures, let me go grab one of mine. It's as simple as getting a bottle like this. Well, here, no. Well, I would get a mason jar. This is the finished product, right? So you get a mason jar, and you with a big mouth, a big wide top. You don't want a small top because you want to be able to get the herbs out, right? And you put your vodka or the higher the proof vodka, the better. And the cleaner the vodka, the better distilled it is, the better. Or you get your vegetable glycerin, and then you put it on I have a big, I don't know, it's like 2 foot by 2 by 3 foot food heater. You know, like if you have a party, put all the trays in the little, you got the little, the hell is it called? I'm just go show you. Make this easier. If you ever want to do a lot of them. A buffet, yeah, like a buffet tray. Yeah, you know the buffet things? So then you'll take all of your your herbs inside of your mason jars and put them on there, and it'll keep it at a perfect temperature where it doesn't get too hot because you don't want to burn off anything, and it speeds up the extraction, and you get more of the elements out of it you need. And then after they're done, you know, 3 to 5 days. I mean, usually it says 2 weeks if you keep it in a cool spot, but if you speed up the process, you can get it done a little quicker. And then you take the plant life out and put it into a bottle like this. Well, I don't do mine in white bottles or clear bottles. I just so happen to have it for this. Most of them you're going to use are going to be the brown bottles. The brown bottles are the way to go because you don't want light to destroy it. The brown or blue bottles are the way to go. And this is the borage. Funky. I'll use a month and a half. Yeah, Greater Alexandria. Speed that up, man. You don't need to. That's to get like 99% extraction. You know, you're at about 70% extraction in 3 days, especially if you're shaking it. Now, if you heat it up, you can be done with extraction in 5 days. You know what I mean? It's like getting the last 5% out of the plant life is, you know what I mean? Is it worth the extra month? You know, 6 weeks. It shouldn't take 6 weeks is my point. You're gonna get the majority of what you need in 3 to 5 days on a heating platter. And it really only 2 weeks if it's in a decent environment. And if you used super high test vodka, instead of using 80 proof, get yourself the 180 proof or 190 proof Everclear. Get yourself some Everclear. The heat of the vodka is up, which means now it's going to extract even quicker. And if you want to even upgrade quicker, you can go get yourself some, what is it called? Crystal Energy. It's by what's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? Basically, what it does is it decreases surface tension. So he did this little experiment where you would take some room temperature water and throw tea leaves in it, and then room temperature water, and he put a couple drops of this stuff in it, and it decreases the surface tension. And he put the tea leaves in there, and it would start extracting out of the tea leaves because now the water, the molecule of the water would normally have this really dense, like a surface, right? Where something could stand on it, like a bug could stand on it. Now you remove the surface tension, and that bug will fall right into the water. In the same way, it's removing the, it's increasing the solubility, and that's another way. These are just like kind of little, you know, if you want to speed up a process and not need a month and a half for it. But the basic way is put it up, increase the heat a little bit. Don't You don't want it too hot, because after 100 and I believe 120 degrees, I think, is about when you start to break down the what you want in there. Hanging upside down. Well, thank you. Yeah, this one's awesome. This one is from the pineal gland of a fish. And this one's from this one's from Earth Inspired Pottery that comes on here. You also check his workout. Jude Meister, you got L5S1 pain? Are you asking me for help with that? I can't tell what you're saying there. Or you're saying the hanging upside down is helping with that? Because usually hanging upside down will help with most anything in the spine. Granny, no higher than 100 degrees. Yeah, you want to keep it like, I believe the temperature. You can, that's another quick thing you could look up on the Google. I believe I think it's like 100 and it's like 120 degrees maybe. There's a certain temperature where you start to break down all the enzymes and all the good shit in it. Brill Lightyear, Miron glass. Is that the purple shit? Is that the purple stuff? Yeah, Crystal Energy is kind of expensive, and it does have some funky shit in it. So no, I wouldn't, um, it's just a way to speed up the process. It's like Gerald Pollack's the fourth phase of water. It's called easy water. There's a way to reduce surface tension, and I would even go so far as to say, once your urine gets pretty clean, the mouthfeel is very soft. The surface tension of the water, I'm certain, the surface tension of your urine is very low, where the surface tension of blood or salt water or things is very high. So you start to increase solubility, and I bet you could probably use urine to extract very quickly. Murano glass? I never heard of that. I've heard of Miran glass. I just don't remember what it is. I thought it was the purple stuff, because there's a couple different kinds of glass. You got the blue glass for certain things, which allows basically no light in. Which, interestingly, there's a lot of wine that comes in blue bottles, but you don't find any beer in blue bottles. You find beer in brown bottles, because you're only letting certain parts of the light spectrum through. And then everybody knows, if you drink a green bottle beer, it always got this funky, skunky flavor to it. I don't care what it is, Beck's or um, Kronigan's or um, Heineken. It's always got a skunky, funky kind of marijuana-y thing going on. Zen meditations. Did you ever listen to the last Zen meditation I did couple weeks ago? That was a fun one. And now I'm gonna have to go get my computer, my other one, to find out about these two things, the Miron glass and the where have I done with such thing? Oh, here it is. It's right where I left it. And the other one, what did he say for me to look up? Let me scroll back through here. He said for me to look up. Oh, there it is. One second, y'all. Um, yeah. Okay, that's very interesting. Ah, right on. Okay. Yeah, I'll try, I'll look into that Agnahotra ash. I'm okay. And the other one is Mirren glass. Oh, is that that green one? Oh yeah, yeah, the blue glass. This is the dark blue glass, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's almost black. That stuff is really cool. Yeah, Miron glass is really cool. It basically doesn't let any light in and it becomes like a yeah, that's good stuff. So I've heard of that before. Yeah, well, I did one at the beach and I think I did one here. I forget what I called it. Yeah, Brill Lightyear, Egg in the Heart, the yeah. Cool. Awesome. I got like, give me like, I'll give you guys like half an hour. I'll give you a countdown, half an hour here. Because I would like to go watch the foosball today. To go participate with the normal humans. See if they'd like to play with me today. Should I go buy myself a jersey? Should I get myself a and look like I'm part of the squizod? Or should I just go out like a goofball like this? Well, fuck it. This is kind of my jersey. This is my team emblem right here. Oh, the Judemeister. Well, fuck yeah. Did you send it to the one in New Orleans? I forgot where you sent it. Did you send it here? Or did you send it to my to Orange Beach? I think you sent it here. Yes. If it's the race street, that's where. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jude. Ultrasonic Uranus is good to drink an hour after a meal. I mean, I wouldn't. It wouldn't make sense to, because um, like if you're gonna eat, then eat. If you're gonna drink piss, drink piss. I don't know. I wouldn't because it's gonna have the flavor of the meal. But again, if you mean meal like you just ate some fruits and veggies and what, yeah, sure. I would. An hour after is fine. You're good an hour after, but I'm just saying like for the level of like if you're gonna be eating something, I'll just wait and distilled water first, just because the for most people they're not familiar with their urine. So you're not gonna like the flavor as much after you eat, no matter what it is. Even if it's something good, it's gonna give it a little bit of a flavor profile. Ah, Greater Alexander, you buy high quality marine phytoplankton for yourself. I would give that. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday or 2 days ago, and I would give that a second thought process. I say it in the same way that why would we eat clam? Because it's the bottom feeder and cleaning the ocean, right? Phytoplankton is cleaning the water, right? And now I haven't had much experience with it, but it's an interesting substance that I don't know. I mean, if you're getting benefits from it, continue on, man, and but it's kind of like people get benefits from alkaline water, but they're only getting immediate benefits. They don't know what's going on in the future because it's not actually water, et cetera, et cetera. Like you can have a certain response that the body does to something healthy as it would to do, as it would to something unhealthy. Like you can take something healthy and that will help you, take a shit, right? But you can eat something unhealthy and you're gonna have to shit that out. Meaning, if I take senna tea in, I'm not going to be shitting out the senna tea. I'm going to be shitting out all of the things in my system that need to be removed because it's a diuretic. Where if I take in something that's poisonous, my body's going to want to get rid of that poison. Now, I'm not suggesting that phytoplankton is poisonous. I'm just suggesting I don't know that I don't know that I'd consume it myself, or tell someone to, and why? Because I don't live near phytoplankton. It's not in my local environment. Um, and further, I mean, look at the cultures that would eat phytoplankton. Where are they? Like, what you have the Japanese maybe, and they're not eating phytoplankton. They're eating what? You know, they're they're eating seaweed, which is not phytoplankton. It's different. So I don't know. There's a couple. I have a couple curiosities to that. That's all I'm saying. So if you're seeing benefits from it, cool. But that might be actually, you know, if you got too many things going on at once, like you're doing phytoplankton, and you're doing this cleanse, you're doing that. I don't seem to be getting healthier. Well, maybe it's something that you keep putting in your body that is actually making you unhealthy, and quite possibly it could be phytoplankton. Just a guess. I just don't know. I did research on this stuff maybe like 12 or 13 years ago, and it was right when I was into my research and health, and it was like it wasn't making a lot of sense to me at the time. But I mean, I'll revisit it. It's a confusing one. Um, the Mormons. That's funny. There's a chick that I follow on Instagram, and I don't know that she is a Mormon, but that her name is something funny, like something funny Mormon, and it's she's got a wicked sense of humor. I don't know if she's cracking on Mormons or if she actually is, but yeah, Mormons. It's a weird. It's a weird culture, man. I mean, I guess I could get down with having like five wives or whatever, but then again, that's just five times as crazy, huh? But then they'd have to, you can only have the five wives, but then they would be like bowing down to the wrong kind of ideas. So I couldn't really fuck with them that way. I have my harem in a different way. Right on, Alexander, in Michigan. Well, as much as I love it up there. I mean, I'm from other states. I'm from the Finger Lakes and all that, and I do love some Chicago, but it's you know, I like the warm weather, man. I need the sun. I need it. It's part of life. You come down to New Orleans. Come down to New Orleans. It's the greatest city on earth. I mean, let's be honest here. At least in the Americas, it's the greatest place. So there's too much goodness down here. There's all sorts of smells and sounds and sights and flavors and music everywhere, and people say hi to you and they'll look you in the face and they'll have conversations. It's weird. Leo got him with that. Spell that. Lucianne, I do use raw honey. I love raw honey. Yeah. And in fact, sugarcane juice is awesome. Sugarcane juice straight from a sugarcane. There's a Brazilian joint over here that makes sugarcane juice. Sugarcane juice with lime is so delicious, and sugarcane juice is especially good for your spine. Think of it. It's powerful. It's got those knots in it. It looks like the spine. It's everything about it. Sugarcane is bamboo. Bamboo is good for the hair and the nails. Sugarcane is good for the spine. It's all related. This is part of my spine right here. This is my spine. You know, that's all. That's all from all of my vertebra, right? My vertebra. What up, bra? Anyways, a raw honey is excellent, man. Excellent stuff. No jelly. Why no jelly, bro? You gotta get them berries on there. Pyramid jelly, yo. Yeah, on a sourdough bread or a spent grain bread. That's the way to go. Peanut butter, cinnamon, and honey. Mm, making me hungry. There's these amazing peanut butter and jelly chicken wings at this restaurant. Like it's kind of like Thai infusion. A lot of Thai food is basically is peanut butter and jelly and noodles. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so good. When you open it, you cried. Yeah, the honey's where it's at. What do you do, Alexander? What you mean? You setting up a house show, musical tour? You mean you make house music, like uh, uh, boots and cats? Come on, Leon knows that. Some boots and cats. Or you mean like you're gonna make music? Shit, if you make music, what the fuck are you like? Are you in a band, like a big band? You guys popular? Come down here, man. Come, go to make some music in the streets, man. They pay good money down here for musicians. Yeah, the runny honey. No, you don't. You shouldn't heat the honey up. Once you heat it up, you're killing all the good stuff. People kind of wild out over like the manuka honey and all of that. I've never really. It's just kind of prohibitively expensive. But if anybody knew that, like, if anybody was like, "Yo, get it, it's fucking greatest," I'll try it. But nobody's ever been like, "Oh, manuka honey, it's worth $18 for 2 ounces." You know? Hey, yeah, the what is it? Who's your boy? Carl Cox. That's your dude, Carl Cox, and some who else? Some old DJs. Yeah, Ceylon and cinnamon is correct, Greater Alexander. And what you talk? I finish what you're saying. What are you talking about? Musical tour. You're touring? I couldn't get that last sentence. I'm setting up a house show musical tour, or you mean going from people's like you're just touring in people's houses, or what do you? I don't understand what you're saying, man. House music. Oh, nice. Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I dig it. I mean, shit. You've never been in New Orleans? What the f is wrong with you, man? Get down here. There's plenty of room for that. It's all sorts of shit you could be doing. All right, yeah, I got 10 more. Kind of winding down here. It's almost 11. I got to get geared up for the Saints game. I gotta get my hoorah on. I get my who dat on. I could get my who dat voice working. Anybody know? Who dat? Anybody know the answer? Who dat? I mean, I've always thought that like the mascot should be an owl, but it's not who dat. It's who dat. What you talking about, Leo? You like play games? Who dat? I'll let you Google it if you must. But it's who, like WHO, like who dat? Yeah, local. Yeah, raw local honey is the way to go. That's always the best way to go. Let me see. Let me see what time this game starts, so I don't. Here we go. Let's see. Saints game today. Let us see. Yeah, I forget. I always forget because I still kind of go back in my mind to East Coast time. I'm like we're an hour different. Oh, nice. It's on. Oh shit! It's an hour and 10 minutes away. I got to start drinking, motherfuckers. It's time to go. What are we doing? What kind of weird shit are we gonna do today? Let's get this show on the road. And by the way, if you guys ever find this, it's called the Gentleman's Collection by Henry John Lindman. And this right here is one of the greatest Cabernets that I've ever had in my life. It is so spectacular. It's not hot. It's very fruit forward. And let me go ahead and I wish you could smell it because I need to get some wine glasses. Kind of alcoholic drinks out of a. Here we go. It is strawberries and fig. It's literally no burn to it. It's not too dry. It's chewy. It's really phenomenal, and it was not too expensive at all. It's actually better than like really expensive bottles that I've had before. Oh, Granny, hair growth. As I was saying before, massage your scalp. That's good. You want to bring energy there, and bamboo. Bamboo is good for your hair and nails because it's silicone. Silica is your hair and your fingernails, and that's what bamboo is made out of. And your hair is connected to a lot of different organs in your body, so just cleaning your body up is going to do that. Anyways, it's going to help every one of your systems. I don't know. I never really thought about never thought about it. I just let my hair go, and I just was like, I'm done cutting this shit. And now that I know how it works, I would if I were telling someone to do it, it would be massage of the body just in general. You want blood moving. Blood is what's carrying the information here, anyways. You know what I mean? In your face and around here, out to your fingernails and your extremities. Bring all the nutrition there, and it needs bamboo. And black seed oil. It's really good. Well, thank you, Granny. It's quite all right. Yeah, I have to tie it up a lot. It causes too much commotion. Beyond just having beautiful hair and looking like I do, there is the general energetics of it. And this is why I wear this too, because you got energetics coming out of here. So I wear this and I keep my hair up because it's too much sometimes. I can't. I can't do the human thing all the time. Yeah, sometimes. Well, my hair is not that curly. It's pretty straight, but when it's wet, I tie it up, so I get a little bit of curl out of it. Diatomaceous earth strengthens and grows hair and nails. I was very familiar with diatomaceous earth, and if you know that to be true, so be it. I don't use it. I haven't used it in a long time. I used it as because it was supposed to help get rid of parasites and whatnot. I didn't know that it was actually adding anything of a nutritional value. But yeah, I haven't looked into it that way. All right, 5 more minutes, yo. I got 5 more minutes for you. Avocados are good too. You want oils. Oils are going to be very important. There you go. Hemp seeds. Yeah. Any kind of oils are really going to be doing a lot of good stuff. Black seed is great. Avocado is great. Inside the body as well as in the hair and up up the pooper, up the pooper. This is one of the greatest ways to do it because you're going to bypass breaking down all of the aminos. If you put it up the butt, it's going to go right into your body. Bypass all of the acids in your stomach. And as I was saying, I was saying earlier, add turmeric, and that's going to be super healthy. And I would use either sesame seed oil or avocado oil. Or there's one other kind of oil you can use. I can't remember. You can look up Ayurveda, and Basti, Basti. I'm gonna anybody last questions or comments or concerns, please enter them now. Yeah, Leo's lair. Okay, let me. Here we go. Who is they playing? They're playing the Buccaneers. Here you go, Leo Slayer. Who dat is vernacular, English vernacular from New Orleans, and here's the entire chant is who dat say they gonna beat them Saints. Who dat? That's what it is right there. Who dat? If I say who dat, you say who dat? Who dat say they gonna beat them Saints? That's the answer. Actually comes from a song too. I didn't know that. Who dat lyrics from 1937. Who dat up there? Who's that down there? There you go. Who dat by some swing band. Oh, Cab Calloway? What? Hold on. Fats Waller, Cab Calloway, Billy Bojangles, Mills Brothers. Ah, that's hilarious. They made a song. Ah, you should look it up. It's pretty interesting. You probably enjoy that. I know the Bucks. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they are. Damn right, Leo. All right, I'm gonna stand up and go grab myself one thing. And if anybody's left over here in the dance party and you have any questions, when I come back here, I'll answer them. If not, I'm gonna get off of here. So I'll be back in 1 minute. 1 minute in the period. Okay. For all you what are the swashbucklers? What the fuck is it called? Swashbucklers? There we go. Yeah, cheers, y'all. I guess ain't nobody got nothing to say. As always, do cool things. Have fun if you must. And enjoy eating if you're eating. Enjoy your fast if you're fasting. And we'll maybe we'll talk later. Maybe I'll get on here during the Saints game and wild out on some shit. Who knows? You never know. We'll talk soon. Stay well, stay glorious. Talk to y'all soon. Cheers.